Hey guys, Mark here. Just here to give you all an update on my healing journey. I'm in San Diego Airport now. I just finished a week, actually 4 days in Tijuana. I did stem cell therapy. I have just a little background. I used to be a runner. My meniscus, I have two torn meniscus, anterior, posterior on my left knee, a torn meniscus on my right knee, I had a torn ligament in my right foot, and Morton's neuroma on my left foot. And I've been dealing with this pain for about 13 years, and I made a decision I'm going to give this stem cell a shot. So, while this is fresh in my mind, I want to give, a lot of people have questions about it, so I just want to give everyone my experience with it, and my hesitations at first, and just how my journey throughout that process. So before I go into that, I want to explain there's two different types of stem cell. There's something called autologous, I think. And by the way, my science is going to be off a little bit here and there, but you get the idea, which is basically autologous is where you get stem cells from yourself, from your own body. So they'll take, let's say, bone marrow from your body and then re-inject it. They'll spin out the stem cells and re-inject it into you. They can do that from bone marrow, your blood, your cartilage, things like that, and your fat. They can do it from that. And then there's allogenic, which is from other people. So in the US, umbilical cord stem cells are illegal right now, from my understanding, and umbilical cords are actually the most potent stem cells. They're the youngest, fresh, from a donor, and they have the best chance of working on healing your body, on creating more blood flow and anti-inflammation, things like that. So I decided to explore that a little more, and I know Joe Rogan talks about this place called Cellular Performance Institute. It's here in Tijuana. There's a few places. I'm not going to tell you which is the best because I truly don't know, but I decided, watching a bunch of MMA fighters talk about this place, there's got to be something to it. So I called them up, and I had hesitation. Tijuana, it's not safe. Mexico, what are you doing in Mexico? What if things go south? All the questions you have, I had. But I guess I'm a little bit more of a cowboy, and I decided to give it a shot. So I dealt with this guy named Eli, who's an intake guy, really nice, and I just didn't know what I didn't know. It's like, oh, we're going to give you 50 million stem cells, 20 million stem cells, like all these different, like to me, the difference between 10 million and 30 million means absolutely nothing to me. So you're really just trusting the process, trusting the people. I learned more and more about it, mainly when I got here. So I'll tell you what I did, and I'll tell you what I recommend. But it's not what I recommend. It's the doctors will recommend things to you after they see the MRIs. So I had 20 million stem cells on my left knee, 20 million on my right knee, 10 million on my right foot, and 10 million on my left foot. So that's a total of 20, 40, 60. So that's 60 million stem cells. I had another 60 million injected via IV, general IV, and that helps the body as a whole. It targets your lungs. After the lungs, it goes to different areas. And then I actually had more stem cells that I decided I wanted to do my hairline to prevent it from continuing to recede, and my face. So like kind of like a Botox, but not Botox. Kind of, it'll targeted this, it targeted there to make your face a little, I don't know. I guess this is what, I've never done Botox, so I figured I had the stem cells already paid for, let me give it a shot. So I did all of that. In terms of logistics, we'll go back to the beginning. I flew into San Diego Sunday night. I slept at the airport. They set this all up, so you just have to pay for your flight. I mean, you pay for everything, but you pay for your flight. You get there and everything's handled. The Sheraton, they have a room right by the San Diego airport. Sunday night. Monday morning, they picked me up. They drove, it was a group of us, I want to say 15, 20 people in two caravans. They took us, like those Mercedes, comfortable vans. They took us through the border. into the clinic in Tijuana. The whole story is anywhere between 30 minutes to an hour, depending on how congested the border is. So it's not that long. Day one, so it's a whole protocol. They're not just injecting you with stem cells. There's a protocol. So there's something called NAD+, which what NAD is, it's like the miracle molecules, what they call it. And essentially they put IV into you of this NAD molecule, which is supposed to energize your mitochondria. ATP, you'll hear a lot of things online. It like rejuvenates your cells. It gives them life again. So you do that every day, essentially, while you're at the clinic. By the way, there's a hotel there's the Hyatt Place, and they pick you up and drop you off every day from the Hyatt Place to the clinic. The actual hospital is under renovation, so they have another space, which is actually, it's nice. It's on the water, comfortable. So they inject you with this NAD. They give you a Myers cocktail of a bunch of B complexes, vitamins, and then that's Monday. Tuesday, more NAD, and another thing, they also give you what's called PEMF. It's something electrical, magnetic force, pulmonary, I don't know. It's just electrical shocks on your knee to essentially create blood flow and contract your muscles there so that it enhances the healing. So going back, so Tuesday, they do the MRIs. MRIs here are super cheap. You have to pay for that out of pocket if you don't come with an MRI already. So my MRIs were dated, very old, so I decided to do fresh MRIs. I did 4 MRIs for $860. You get the MRIs on the spot, they read them on the spot. Everything is like, there's no waiting weeks to get someone to read it, to get them to your doctor, so it's really a very efficient process. The third day is stem cell. So I did stem cell on my third day, the injections. The injections themselves weren't they weren't painful at all, but that night, Wednesday night, was tough for me. I don't take, I didn't want to get onto the pills. Valium and Oxycontin for the pain. You can't take anti-inflammatories because that defeats the purpose. Like, you want the areas inflamed so that so that the healing begins. Healing happens when blood flow comes to the areas that are injured, if you will, to help repair. The issue with the meniscus, for example, is that it has no blood flow, which is why meniscus can never repair. And that's for most joints, shoulder, back, just any joints, they have a hard time getting blood flow there. So it's hard to repair on their own, and of course they want to go to surgery right away. So I made a decision that's why I made this decision to do the stem cell. That night, because I didn't take the pills, I didn't sleep great. The pain, I was fine. You're walking, you're not in a boot, you're not in crutches. Everyone there was fine. Some people were pain, you're maybe sitting funny, walking funny, but that was Wednesday. Just so you know, it's now Thursday night, and I feel fine. I'm still walking a little funny. I still feel sore. I'm certainly not 100% yet, but I'm walking, I'm moving, I'm on a plane, I'm taking a red eye. Still haven't taken the pills, but they leave you with pills. So just in case you have pain, they give you Tylenol, Tramadol, Valium. They'll give you Oxy if you ask them, but not a lot. So just keep that in mind. Oxy, they're all addicting, so you want to be careful with all these pills. I think the pain is manageable, but to each their own. What else? What's nice is Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. I'm not staying Friday just because I have to be home for the Sabbath, but people are staying through Friday for the 5th day. But they do hyperbaric chamber. Hyperbaric chamber essentially oxygenates the blood. I don't know if it makes the healing go faster, it gives the stem cells better chance to do their job, but that's the general consensus. I did that Wednesday, I did that Thursday. Again, I did the NAD. It's a great community. You become friends very quickly with the people that are there. Every week they have anywhere between 20 and 25 people. I was there with this guy, Dominic, who's an MMA fighter, super nice guy. There were people there that did aftercare, so they came 3 months after their original injection to see a comparison. of how they're doing based on their MRI and how they're feeling. And so far, everyone said they feel, 60% better, 80% better, but they all felt better than they did before they came in. So that's great news. Side note, you can't drink, you can't smoke, because alcohol kills, if I'm not mistaken, alcohol kills stem cells, and that defeats the purpose, and smoking will affect your lungs, and the lungs, when you do the general IV, it goes to your lungs first. So you want to stay clear of all of that. One of the owners named Scotty, really nice guy. He came, answered questions every day, because you can imagine there's a million questions, and there's so much out there. It's a rabbit hole. I wanted to start researching, and I realized it'll never end. Either I go do this or I don't. Pray for the best. And that's what I ended up doing. So you can call me your guinea pig. I'll let you know how I do in 3 months. I can't necessarily tell you, that it's great, but I'd like to think it is. So I'll let you know for certain. Right now I can tell you I did it, and I was happy with the process coming in. The food, you have breakfast at the hotel, you have lunch every day at the clinic, vegan, vegetarian, whatever you are, if you have any allergies, they cater to everybody's need. For my Jewish listeners, they don't have kosher needs there, but they might. I didn't ask, I just said vegetarian. So keep that in mind. And for dinner, the first night Scotty treated everyone to dinner, which was really nice. And then every other night you're on your own kind of thing. You're across the street from a really nice plaza, so you can walk there and eat. You can Uber Eats, have Uber Eats everywhere. And that's that. I'm looking at my notes to see anything I left out. Oh, so when you call this place to set up your intake, whatever you decide to set up over the phone, I don't know if they'll be doing it continuously, but now they're offering a 15% discount if you pay with crypto. Now that's significant when your average, it's about a $20,000 story, 20 to 30. If you add on anything when you're at the clinic, they don't offer the discount, which I don't know why. It would be nice if they did, but keep that in mind. So if you know you're going to do stuff in advance, buy it in advance and pay with crypto so you get that discount. Otherwise, you got to pay the full price. The cost is high, but if it works, it's worth every penny. I mean, my deductible for my insurance was $15,000. So if I decided to do meniscus surgery, not only would I have to pay $15,000, but it wouldn't repair my meniscus. It would just cut the teared part off. That doesn't solve the problem. Maybe it'll solve some inflammation, but I want to repair it to what it was, or at least as much as I can without the pain. So that's that. I'm going to try to combine this with some videos that I took in the actual place, in the clinic. It's called Chipsa Hospital. That's the name of the hospital that they operate out of. And that's it. Here's to hoping for the best, and I'm sure I'll be healed just like every other person I spoke with. In terms of downsides, I haven't heard of any. They haven't had any, at least that's what they said, but I believe them. No one there had any adverse reactions when I was there, so 25 people got these injections. They've done hundreds, if not thousands, and there's no real issues. My one hesitation is if something went wrong when I get back home in the U.S., what do I do, right? Like, I'm not going to go back to Mexico, or maybe I will. But I can't imagine anything will go wrong. I'm a big proponent of this place. There are other places. I can't tell you if they're better or worse. There's places in Panama. There's other places in Mexico. This is one that was highly regarded. And if the entire MMA UFC community, which destroy their bodies and their shoulder and rotator cuffs and backs, have gone to this place, I feel pretty good about it. So with that, I'm going to sign off, and I hope everyone a healing journey.